Welcome everyone. In this video, we will be doing some joins, SQL joins in MySQL workbench. All right, so I'll be putting up the code in the description, especially on the table that we'll be using on this exercise. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, so in SQL, in MySQL Workbench, we have different types of joins. So first is we have the left join, which returns the value of the first table and matches the value on the second table. So take a look at this. Left join shows all the value on the first table and the matching values from the second table, which is here. Next is the right join. So right join shows the value or returns the value, all the values on the second table and the matching data on the first table, basically on the left. So think of it as table 1 is left and the table 2 is right. Okay, and next type of join is the inner join. So this returns all the values that is matching from both tables, table 1 and table 2. And lastly, we have full outer join, which returns all the values that we have for both tables. So MySQL doesn't really have a code for specific code for full outer join, unlike other workbenches like SSMS and Postgres. SQL. So we will be doing it differently in MySQL. All right. So maybe we can start. So first, this is the table, by the way, that we will be using. So again, I'll be adding the link on the description for this code so that you can do the exercise with me, or you can practice as well. All right. So let's use the schema or the database for this exercise, which is named join X, short for example, and then run it by pressing Control and Enter. And as you can see here, it appears expanded, like on our previous video explaining the purpose of use. And then you can see it here that the query the query is successful. All right. Next is we need to take a look at the table first, the first table that we will be using. And that will be the sales table from our schema. There we go. So here we have sales ID and the column, first column, second is the item ID, the second column, and the date, sale date, and quantity. All right. So now let's take a look at the item table that we have here. So remember the columns there, sales ID and item ID. So items, let's take a look at that because we need a primary key to match the values on both tables. So here is the items table. We have an item ID, item name, item price, and item cost. So item cost is how much it costs to create the item. Okay, so if you notice, item ID is appearing here as well, like on the sales table. So we need this item ID and the items table, and then the sales item ID on the sales table as well, so that we can join them. So what do I mean by that? So yeah, let's do it here. So let's go back to sales table, and then after from, we can type now the join command. So let's start with left join. So it says returns all the values from the first table, which is the left table, and shows the matching values on the right, which is the second table. So the syntax is left join. And then the next is what table. Okay, and before we proceed, to make it more convenient, put an alias on your table so that we can be more efficient on typing the join. So I put it as T1 indicates table one. And here, oops, the items, we can put it as table two. All right. All right. So let's join item as table two. And then for visual purposes, I'll be typing the next command here, which is on. So where are we going to be putting or joining these two tables? So what column basically? So on, so left join items to on T1, which is the first table, which is sales, and then item ID is equal to T2 dot item ID as well. So basically, we connected the two with the use of the item IDs, which is present from both tables. And let's see what we check first, and let's see what we got. There you go. So it combined the two tables, all right, with the matching values on the right, which you can see here. We have a null because item 5, or I mean, I'm sorry, sales ID 5 doesn't have a data on the items table, which is our table 2. All right. So it shows all the data on the table 1, but not on table 2, because this it returns only the matching values to the from the table 1. All right. So what I mean is that item ID 106 is not on items table, so it won't show anything there. All right. Let's try the right join. Let's just replace this with the right. So what we should see here is we should see a null on the left side of this table, because there is an item here or a row here that is not present or that is not matching on the left table or the table 1. Okay, let's do that. All right, as we expect, there's a null because item ID 105 from the items table is not appearing on or does not appear on the first table, which is the left. So that's why we have a null, but it returned all the matching values here from the table 1. All right, so again, left join will show the values on the first table and the matching data on the second table. So if there's no matching values from left to right, it will appear as null. And right join is vice versa. Okay, now let's talk about inner join. So inner join returns the similar values of the tables. So it will just return the values that are matching from both tables. So we should not see a null here. There we go. So these are the values that is just present to both tables, item IDs. All right. So next is full outer join. Again, there's no specific code for the full outer join. So what we do here on MySQL is we will be joining the left table or the left join and then the right join. So maybe I can explain that to you by showing it. So full join. Okay, and what we will do is, again, we will do the select command star from sales. Okay, again, as T1. And then left join items as T2 on T1 dot item ID is equal to T2 dot item ID. Okay, and now we're not done yet. So we will be using union to append the union command to append the next query to this first query. So it's making it longer than wider. Join is used to make your data wider. Union is used to make your data longer. Okay, you can use union all. The only difference between union and union all is union will just return the values which doesn't have a duplicate. Union all will return all the values even if it's duplicate. Okay, so we just need to use all union, and then let's do a select again. Select star. Maybe I should copy this. Okay, there we go. Okay, so clearance. All right, and then we will just replace this with right. Okay, and I hope we should be okay here. Let's run it. Okay, there we go. So we are now seeing all the data or the values, observations on both tables without showing one that is not on the other table. So for example, here 106, the item ID 106 is not present on the items table, and item ID 105 is not present on the other table, which is the first one. All right, so that's how we do full outer join or full join on MySQL. So what can we do besides joining? So you can add, let's go back here to the first table. Let's do a left join again. Okay, so what else we can do on joins? You can add clause here on the left join. So let's say you want to combine the two tables with this matching IDs, and you just want to get the item price which is greater or equal than 7. So just type in and item price greater or equal to 7. So the output should not be showing veggie pizza and then 4 cheese pizza. Okay. There you go. So it's just showing the item price. So this one will return as null because we are so it wouldn't, because it should still match, because it's still matching the item ID. All right. So another thing is you can filter the columns by selecting it manually or typing it manually. So let's say you just need sales ID. Now, as you can see, item ID is both present on the tables. So you have to specify what table it is that you'll be using that item ID column. So let's say T1 and then item ID. Because if you will not specify from what table this column that you're going to be using, you will get an error. And then let's say just quantity, and then just the item price. There you go. So it's cleaner now. And yeah, you can select the columns when you are joining, but make sure if the tables have the same column, make sure to specify from what table it is by using the table name dot and then the column. All right, so yep, that's how we use joins in MySQL. So I hope you learned something new today. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.